Ulster County, New York is one beautiful place to live and a great place to work.
IBM came here, settled in, set up, and put people to work.
We own several hundred acres there in Ulster County. About 300 acres on the main site where about 7,000 people were employed.
IBM's influence in Ulster County was pretty profound. A lot of commercial ventures opened up. There were a lot of mall developments, so a lot of retail jobs opened up.
What made it, for me, really a good run for nearly 30 years was that the people I can remember working with most of the time really enjoyed what they were doing.
It was a company that let you go as far as you could without over-directing you on what needed to be done.
IBM had a great deal of respect for the individuals. Of course, we were well paid, probably the highest paid community in Kingston at the time.
Unions were frowned upon by IBM, and for the most part, they weren't necessary because people were quite happy with working there. They had so many wonderful benefits.
IBM took you on and you would be told, look, you have a job for a life if you keep your nose clean. And I didn't believe it until I saw it happen.
You are listening to the heartbeat of the Sage computer.
Kingston was a seat of invention, of forward-looking, imagination. The things that we did in Kingston were always ahead of times.
When I joined IBM, women had to wear skirts, no pants, and men wore suits or at least white shirts, a shirt with tie.
I was what you would call a computer repairman outside of IBM. Inside, we were called customer engineers. We carried a toolkit that was disguised to look as a attaché case, and being that we were wearing suits, carrying something that looked like a briefcase, it didn't look like there was a problem with the machines.
So when I started working at IBM, I did not see a lot of women in the technical fields of programming and engineering. That changed quite dramatically as time went on.
I went to meetings to discuss hardware manuals. I was many times the only woman in the room. And I felt a little bit of prejudice, but I did have a background in electrical engineering, so I kind of held my own.
Members and guests of the IBM Recreation Center enjoy the use of a first-rate pool all summer long.
IBM hosted Family Day once a year at the Cuckoo Lane facility, the IBM Country Club in Kingston, and it was very much fun. They had rides, free hot dogs, hamburgers. It was just very entertaining and fun and a way to kind of let loose.
The people at IBM were people I socialized with, and IBM was a way of life. When they first announced that there would be layoffs, people gathered around and talked about it. I would say that for a good 6 months when this first started, no one could really do their job properly because they knew that was hanging over them.
And it didn't just all happen at once, it kept getting worse. And I would come to work thinking, how can today be any worse than yesterday? And I would find we just had more sacrifices to make, and there were just more unpleasant things to handle.
It was kind of a downhill, non-happy time from 92 to 96, 97.
And one day I made a point of just going over to see, because I had heard from other employees that they were piling up desks. I think it was the only time in my 30 years at IBM where I actually started to cry, just thinking about how it was gone, and all those people that had been working on the test floor and working at the desks were off someplace else, and now there was no vital activity there anymore. It was just piled up desks.
When IBM closed, it was a very difficult time, I think, for Ulster County. after the last office closed in the buildings, I think it became a very depressed area.
I don't think anyone really knew exactly why Kingston IBM closed and moved whatever was left to Poughkeepsie and other locations. There was a sense of betrayal when IBM left.